Alright, so many people have had so many problems with the original NES models, the side-loading edition. They always have the blue screen, always the flashing blue screen of death. Either that or the game comes on but it constantly resets. Most people throw out their units thinking they're broken. So if you can find yourself a busted up Nintendo, this is how you're going to fix it. Let's take our first Nintendo here. This is my slightly customized version. A couple of the innards have been taken out, like the shielding, so that it's a little bit easier to take apart and photograph, and there's no screws in it. So we take it open. We got the game in there first of all, which we're just going to leave it in there for now. And we're going to take the board out and flip it over. Now, be careful when you're messing around with this little covered part here, because there are some capacitors on it, and it can hold a lot of energy stored up. And it can also get quite warm around on that transistor. Now, the first thing you're going to be looking for on the bottom of the board, when you have it, make sure your text is right side up. And you can notice that my board is from 1989. You're going to be looking for this chip here, 3193A. It'll say 19 whatever, 85 Nintendo. And you're going to go into the bottom of it, and the fourth leg over on the bottom, you're going to clip that leg. Now what this chip does is, this is a security verification chip. It talks to the game and it makes sure that the game is actually a genuine Nintendo product, with their quote-unquote seal of approval. This chip is probably the buggiest piece of hardware in the Nintendo to begin with. It has a problem where if it's not quite warm enough, it might not detect, and what this little chip is doing is it's looking for low voltage. Low voltage coming through that leg that we've clipped means that it's a good game. By clipping the leg, you're allowing no voltage to get into it, which basically will counteract the entire chip's function. The chip is what actually causes a game to reset every 1 second. So if you have the game actually coming up and it's resetting every second, clip that leg, your battle's over. Now, if you're getting a blue screen, a flashing blue screen of death, however, that is a cleaning issue. Now the pins on the socket roll around the back underneath. There's another sort of like slot here, more or less like the one on the bottom of on the inside of a Nintendo cartridge. That can get dirty, but that's very rare that ever has any problems. Where you're going to be having all your problems is right here in the cartridges themselves. This, you want to clean it out with either Windex or rubbing alcohol. Either one works really good. It says right on the back, don't use alcohol, but these games will actually take it. Just don't use benzene thinner or anything else. That would just be stupid. Alcohol will take the stuff off just fine. Windex takes it off even better in some cases. If you can take the game apart, take the rubber eraser off of a pencil, and that works even better. Now the trickiest thing to clean, however, is the contacts on the inside of this. And a lot of times, and you can even see it here, 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 and here on mine, little pieces of the plastic will break off. The best way to clean that is, while your cartridge is still wet with alcohol, is to run it, slide it in back and forth, and get it in there, and to actually scrape the stuff off the contacts that way. Take them out, let them dry, put them back in, and usually it'll work. But if it doesn't still, you can slide the cartridge around, play with it, and basically get it to work from there. The thing with Nintendo systems is, if you find a working Nintendo on eBay, you can be paying up to $200, $300 for one. You can find them broken down for free, absolutely free, and with a couple of little bit of tender loving care, a little bit of work, a little bit of cleaning, you can get it working just like a brand new console. Okay, we all know about this part in World 1-2 in Super Mario Brothers. I'm going to do a demonstration of how to get to World -1. There's a little bit of setup in this. You want to go to the exit pipe and stand about here, knock that brick out. Now this is a part that takes a little bit of trickiness. You want to stand at the edge of the pipe and sort of jump backwards. The object sort of is to get, let me knock this brick out too. The object is to get stuck in this brick while being crouched. Sometimes it takes quite a while to do the trick. And this will be edited out, of course. There we go. Now, when you get over the pipe here, you don't want to load them all the way in. If you load them all the way in, the warp zones will come out and it will defeat the bug. Now, the bug works in the way that... this is my theory. My theory on this bug is the fact that when you get to the pipe at this point, it's still unassigned as to where it's going to go. And that's what causes the -1 world. Now, -1, if you notice, is just a copy of World 1 or 2-2, the second world in level 2. Now, there's no real reason in continually beating this stage, because all it'll do is it'll keep bugging you down to World 0-1. No matter how much you die, no matter how many times you beat it, you'll always end up in the same place. And this one has a central checkpoint bug where you start off in the middle of the whirlpool instead. What I'm guessing is a lot of the reason that this game level turns up in the first place is that there's no flag set when you initially go through that pipe. There's no flag set for the level, that it's a water level, and there's no checkpointing. If you notice, the time is really, really high on this level for some reason too. When you start off, it's at 400, which is the maximum time for any level. Now, as we exit the level, instead of actually going out, it just brings you right back to the beginning of the level again. So at this point, there's no reason to continue. Once you get the negative world, you've got it. It's just something to show people. It's kind of a neat little bug in the game. Anyway, that's it.